I'm backstage with LOCASH. We're in the Air Castle dressing room.
This is amazing.
This is the tradition where it all started, the Grand Ole Opry.
Of the Grand Ole Opry,
Yes.
the voice of country music right here.
And can we talk about how great these chairs are? And I feel like it's like a little bourbon room or something.
Cozy back here.
You took us in this great place. We don't
If
even
you've
know
never
where
had the
we're at right
backstage tour at the Grand Ole Opry, you've got to
You
do
have
it.
to see it.
There's so much history back here. Cool rooms like this.
now.
Chairs.
The plaques on the wall. We're praying and hoping someday that we get on there.
You brothers have reached a point in your career. I don't know that I have seen anybody work as hard on an album
Thank
release
you.
to let the world
Right.
know,
Thank you.
That means a lot.
Chris,
to hear that.
Preston, that this is so special to you, and it shows.
It really is, man. I mean, this is an album full of positivity in a world that needs positivity, that needs good role models for these kids to look up to. And we've always we found a niche and a lane that we like to call it a positive lane where LOCASH can be those guys.
It happened. It started with "I Love This Life,"
right,
and then
Which I might add, you debuted first time live
Yes.
on WSM Radio's Coffee
is
Country and
the
Cody.
truth.
You remember that?
Remember
That is
Dirks
the
Bentley?
truth.
Dirks Bentley called in or texted.
Texted.
Something.
He
It was
texted.
like,
He was
"Dude,
listening."
This is a hit, and we knew right then. I mean,
yeah, that was an amazing moment in our life, and to stay there, as much downhill we've been in the downfalls. There's a lot more downs than ups in this career. We all know that it's the industry, but when you do get that raise and you do get up there and you got to ride that wave as long as you can, we just want to stay positive through it all. And this album is about that, man.
I can't think of another story that speaks to that positivity that you mentioned more than, and you've probably forgotten about this, but it was when you got your gold record
Oh wow!
for I Love This
Yes.
Life on the CMA River
It
Stages
was
stage
incredible.
during
Yeah,
the
that was-
CMA Music Festival. But you guys, hours before, you talk about the lows and what people never know about the ride.
Right.
You guys
Flat
had
tire.
broken down
Yep.
somewhere in the middle of Nebraska
We didn't even
Yeah.
know if we're going to make it to CMA's in time.
and didn't see any hope at one point in time that you were going to get that thing rolling and get to town.
The one thing is, the good thing is I know a lot about tires.
No, can I
Chris
let me,
is a tire
I do know a lot
specialist.
about tires.
hey, you know what he told me? I will never forget you telling me this. He said, I showed him how to do it the Baltimore way.
I did. I totally did. I totally did. I mean,
He probably used some chewing gum,
Right?
and something like that to fix that.
we
tire
got here.
that
We
he
were
did.
not going to miss it, man. And we had no idea that we were getting a plaque or anything. But we just knew that, how great CMA's been to us. So we were going to be there for sure. And whatever we had to do.
It's so much fun to watch you work.
Thank you.
I watch you, in this particular case, we're backstage at the Opry, and I'll be side stage tonight. There is something about this audience when the two of you get there that it goes to another level. It is obvious. They love the showmanship that you bring. Where does that come from? I mean, you just always saw yourself doing that?
It's hard to not see the crowd on their feet already with their hands in the air singing along. Like before we're even on stage, I know me personally, I take a good look at the crowd, whether they're sitting down, whether they're paying attention, anything, and I already envision where we want to leave them. And so if we're doing 2 songs or 3 songs or 1 song, you have that long to get from here to there, and you've got to at least give it your best try to make them forget about their world for a minute. Let them just feel good for a few minutes.
I mean,
we
you're
all
at
need that.
You're at the Grand Ole Opry.
And
You know
how
what I
many
mean?
people have stood on that stage and delivered moments that are unforgettable? And so we're just trying to do our best to have some sort of a moment for them that they can take home with them.
This crowd is pulling for you. I've said that for every artist that I've ever seen walk out there. I said, particularly somebody's making a debut or they're
Yes.
relatively
Oh, yeah.
new, and I say, look,
They
you
wanna be
won't
a
play,
part of it, for
They
sure.
You won't play anywhere else where people want to see you succeed
Right.
more than right now. As nervous
agree.
as you may be and as uncomfortable as you may be getting ready to walk out there in that spotlight for the first time, even though it's a dream,
Yes.
there's this anxiousness that goes with
And those
it.
nerves kick in every time.
But
Yeah,
you
that
do
doesn't go
feel
away.
a warmth, don't you?
Oh,
Whether it's
yeah.
here or at the Ryman, that
I mean,
kind of
now-
exudes.
Now that we've done it a couple times, I mean, it is when they say family, it is a family.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a really warm feeling as soon as you walk in, from the security guards to the staff. I mean, they're like, "Oh boy, here they come, Chris and Preston." It's like, "Yep, we're here. Can you tell us what room 68 is?"
I know one time we
They're
were
like,
on
"What are you
stage.
talking about?"
One time we were on stage and we were rocking and we had the crowd up and their hands are up and everybody's dancing and singing, and all of a sudden this woman comes from the back and she starts making her way towards the front, and I'm like, "Well, it's the Opry. She'll probably get stopped right at the front row or so, maybe midway." She makes it past security somehow. She dances right around. They don't see her. Next thing you know, she's on stage with us. She's crawled up on stage, and she's with us on stage. And I'm like, oh, this is not good. This is, I mean, we
And I'm just going to go and say this. It was unfortunately a very short skirt. Unfortunately.
And so I took off. Towards the other side. I'm like, I'm not going to be seen in this picture. I know what this is going to look like.
Chris, you're on your own.
I remember looking at Preston. I was like, "You did not tell me your mom was coming to the Opry tonight."
So it ended up great. She might have got arrested. I have no idea. But after the show, I remember Chris and I looking at her like, we're never going to get to the
we're
Opry
done.
again.
We're done.
That's it. That we're done because we have broken every rule at the Grand Ole Opry tonight, and we didn't mean to, but it happened. And the Opry came to us, and they were like, "That was amazing. That was a moment we'll never forget." And we just, all of us, the Opry, LOCASH, everyone just embraced
And the guy in the
it.
front row that was looking at her. We'll never forget.
Yeah, he was a pretty happy guy that night. But moments like that, you can't plan them, and we're just happy to be part of something that people take home with them.
Well, and now you actually bring people up. I've seen
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah, man. We love
Kids,
it.
you get kids involved, which is
Kids,
beautiful.
yes,
People
yeah.
love that.
I remember we brought a veteran up last time we were here, and he
Yes.
stood in the circle, and he was coming up. He was shaking. I mean, he was shaking. This guy's been through way worse than whatever we've been through. And I was like, "Man, you're standing in the Covenant Circle right now. Everybody just stood here. I mean, everybody that you know in music
Yeah.
has stood in the
Yeah.
circle." And he's like, "I know, I can't believe you got me up here right now." And he goes, "Do I have to dance?" And I'm like, "No, you don't have to dance. Just stand here and sing with us."
But moments like that, it's as if he represents every single person in the crowd.
He does.
As he
He
steps
does.
into that circle for maybe the only time in his life that he will. Everybody in the crowd feels like they're stepping in for a moment, and that's the kind of moment you can't plan, you can't recreate. It just happens, and when it's genuine like that,
Yeah.
Let's talk about the album, Brothers.
Yes.
How long in the making?
2 years in the making on this one, man.
Yeah.
We started it with our old record label, and we really just wanted to get the record done. We knew we were moving on. We didn't know where. And then Broken Bro and Wheelhouse decided they wanted us, and that was a no-brainer for us. It's our first major label, and we're like, okay, we got to do this. But we wanted some of those songs on this album that we turned in. So we played it for Loba and Carson and the team over there, and we were like, hey, what do you think of these records? And they found 4 or 5 that are like, okay, you guys cannot let these songs go. We need to bring them over here. So they helped us bring them over, and at the same time, we wanted to pick 6 more songs that really fit, them and us in the moment that we're at right now. And I feel like we found them. They're amazing hit songwriters on this album. I mean, big songwriters. We've only got 3 or 4.
We actually took a song of ours off.
Yes.
To put God Thing on the album.
Yes.
It just when great songs roll in, Chris and I bump our songs up against those, and we pair them up, and we say which was the better song, and the best song always wins for us. And
I mean, we'd love to write all of them, but this town is built with the best songwriters in the world, right?
And
here.
people will tell you who've had success.
Yes.
That's
one of
the
the
mark
keys.
of professionalism on your
Yes.
part
Well,
that
thank
says,
you.
hey, look, we need to let this go. This
our
is the better
moments will
song,
come as
even though
songwriters.
it's
We'll
not
have
yet.
our moments, and as long as we don't force it, and when those hit songs roll in and they're A++, and then they sound like a smash, then we're going to go that direction. We want to connect with folks.
Where does this brotherhood? The album is called Brothers.
Yeah, man.
Where did it begin for people who don't know the backstory?
I think it began when we just started calling each other brothers on stage. We're not blood related, but I don't have a brother. I'm the only child, and he is my brother. I don't know anything else, but if someone says, do you have a brother? I don't say no. I say, yes, I got Preston. And it's the truth. I don't know if you can get deeper than that. Like, I've known him so long, and everything that we've been through, from fights, from good times, and not even horrible fights, but like, the brotherhood fights.
Yeah.
And, you're just sitting there like, I would call him a brother anywhere, anytime.
I mean, that's it. I mean, the perseverance that we've had to show and had to display throughout the journey. I mean, when you run into a roadblock and you got the two of us, and that's it. Maybe we didn't even have a record deal at the time, but those moments define your character. And when you have somebody like that, it feels like family next to you, and maybe they got up over the obstacle first and they reach around and grab you by the hand and pull you over. Those are the moments that define family. They define that strength that we're gonna be through this and together to the end. You know.
Well, while you're on the stage of the Opry, you referenced it is really a cross-section of America that comes to this show.
Yes.
And then I look at your touring, just the next few days as we sit here tonight. St. Paul, Carmel by the Sea, Reno, Austin, Camarillo in California.
Yeah.
That's taking it to the people now.
Let's go. Let's go. You should jump on the bus.
You
with
should
us.
totally
Come
do
on.
it. Or the plane.
Yeah.
You remember that line from Waylon and Hank Jr. in the conversation about Hank?
Oh man.
Oh, come on.
If he headed for a show in Provo, he'd be the first one on the bus and ready to
Yes.
ride. So I'm ready to ride.
Come on, let's
Thanks
go.
for asking.
That's
Absolutely.
right. Come on with us.
With brothers Chris and Preston, LOCASH, Backstage, it's the Grand Ole Opry and 6:50 AM WSM.